And we are live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another NBA Player Props Prize Picks live stream. I am back. It is me, Chavez. We are back. Another live stream. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope this content finds you all doing well. I feel like I'm way too close to the mic. Maybe it's just me. All right. Try that. All right. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? All right. Happy Friday to everybody. Happy Protected Friday, Flex Friday, whatever is being called now. But happy Friday to you all. Hope last night went well. I hope you woke up to some profit in your accounts. We got some plays to talk about. We'll recap a few plays that I liked yesterday. I don't know if y'all want to talk about anything specific in the NBA yesterday. Any of the games that stood out to you? How'd y'all like that Philly Utah game? That was a pretty fun game to watch. Boston and LA, not so much. Fucking shameful as a Boston Celtics fan. That's why I'm not wearing my Celtics hat today. I couldn't even bring myself to do it. So shameful the way they played yesterday. I put that on the hook. Not this morning, but nonetheless, pretty fun day of NBA in terms of just the gameplay. That was the only blowout we had was that, not even a blowout. I mean, Boston made it close, but they should have actually ran away with that game. No doubt. Hit that like button on your way in. Truly appreciate that. Helps the channel grow, helps this channel get in front of new eyes, a newer audience, and that's how we get bigger. That's how we grow. That's how you do it. You are a part of all that, so I appreciate the support you already give, and let's keep it going. Let's get this going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about some player props today. Let's recap some plays before we get into all that. We'll do some injury news. Make sure you're up to speed on all that. I like Trae Young today. Listen, Trae Young's in play as long as he's not your Taco Tuesday. If Trae Young is not the Taco Tuesday, you're in a good spot. It's that Taco Tuesday that gets us, you know? Cheers, everybody. I don't know if y'all drink coffee or what. I drink coffee. I tried drinking tea in the morning. I tried switching that. I was like, can't do it. Can't do it. So coffee is what I poison my body with in the morning. And a lot of it too. All right. Let's set up the chat. Let me make sure I'm getting everybody in here. Damien, what's going on? Super, good morning. Big Icy, ROK. We got Darrell, what's going on? Good morning to you. Divine, good morning. True, good morning to you. Infamous Mel, good morning. Edward, good morning. Jim the Judge, salute and blessings to you too. Shy, Mookie, good morning to you both. All right. Please scroll and read this. PrizePicks had me dried yesterday. They got me on a push, man. What happened, dude? Says, took my money out on FanDuel this weekend. Still got PrizePicks though for my parlays. You like Wagner over assist? Yes, I actually do. I was looking at it's a shitty matchup for him versus the Timberwolves. Timberwolves are a tough team, you know, but his assists are really standing out to me, as are his 3-pointers made, but that's not on PrizePicks. Wendell Carter, I wasn't looking at his points, to be honest with you, when they were at 9.5. If they bumped up to 10, I'm probably off of it, to be honest, because that's a tougher matchup in the front court. But we can definitely take a look at Wagner's assists, no doubt. No doubt. All right. Mookie likes Wendell Carter's first half. Yo, Mookie had a I'm gonna have to get you on the stream, girl. I'm gonna have to get you on the stream. Mookie hit another sixer, second half, 6-pick. No, was it a 5-pick? You hit a 5-pick yesterday? Second half 5-pick? Swept it. Jazz in Philadelphia, nice little second half slip there. She killed it. Crushed it. Javier, good morning to you. What is going on? Okay. Got you. Took money out of PrizePicks, hit a 4-man, but they took money because Sexton got 6 assists. Gotcha. Neesmith was weird yesterday. Neesmith had a monster first half, and then he did nothing in the second half. In terms of scoring points, he had 17 at the half, and he finished with 17 points. That was really weird. The way that was looking to look like he was going to stay hot, especially with Halliburton on the minutes limit, you would think, but I don't know what the hell happened there. It was weird to watch that. Vu, what's going on? Top of it to you too. All right, let's get this going. Let me get some stuff out the way, and then we'll start hitting up the Q&A. If you're just joining the stream, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. We start 9 a.m. typically 9 a.m. every Monday through Friday. Weekends we don't do streams. I'm pretty active in the Discord. Typically run about 2 hours. I get my stuff out the way, and then we do some player prop talk. We do plays of the day. We wrap it up. That's what we do here on the stream. If you want to participate in the chat, that'd be awesome. Throw a player prop in there. I'll do my best to get to it when that portion of the stream comes. All right. Injury news. Let's make sure we're up to speed on injury news. You don't want to get derailed or sidelined by some bullshit. We got available Bol. I know he was I knew Bol was going to be a big name today, so he's in. That was a little joke, but if you had any Bol play, he's in. Gary Harris is probable. Doubtful. LaMelo is doubtful. Jonte Porter is doubtful. So Jakob Poeltl is still questionable, and you have Jonte Porter who is doubtful today. So that leaves, if Jakob Poeltl doesn't suit up, that leaves a very small front court in Toronto. Jokic is questionable. Sengun is questionable. Zion. You see all those names. I'm not going to read them all off. That's a lot of names. But I think it's important to highlight the players who have been confirmed out already. So that it's already done, and that's going to open up the value for some players on that team. So Jalen Williams is out. Mike Muscala is out. Stu is out. Beef Stew is out. Duncan Robinson remains out. Isaiah Joe is out. And then Dario, I guess that's Dario Saric. They just cut his last name off this list. Unless he chose to just be called Dario. Dario is out. So there's your injury reports for today, Friday, February 2nd, 2024. All right, let me quickly recap the plays that I was on yesterday. I put these plays in the Discord yesterday. I also put them in a couple of slips, and I shared those slips. I shared the slips that hit yesterday. I really liked Jordan Clarkson yesterday. I liked everything. I liked his threes. I liked his points. I liked his PRA. But I played his threes and I played his PRA. And he took like 15 3-pointers yesterday and only made one. So he crushed his PRA. Very active. What I like about Jordan Clarkson is when I'm watching that game unfold and when he's running the point, anytime he has a very high assist conversion. When he's on the floor and he's running point and he's setting teammates up for shots, they're knocking them down. And that's the other half of assists. Like, you can set them up, and if they're not making their shots, it doesn't matter, right? But I watched that, and every time he set up a teammate for a three or for something inside, they converted. And so that gives him the assist. I mean, that helps out the points, but he's a much better point guard than I think a lot of people give him credit for. I'm not saying he's the best, but he's better than you think. So unfortunately, he did not go over his 3-pointers. Lauri Markkanen did go over points, rebounds, and assists. I thought the Jazz were in a great spot yesterday, just with all the plays that were on the board. I said I had a problem yesterday. I like way too many Jazz player props. You see it right there. I played 2 of them in my slips. Markkanen did hit. I think he ended the night with 13, if I'm not mistaken, 13 rebounds and assists. And then my last play, Jaren Jackson Jr., this got bumped down to 25. He finishes with exactly 25 points. So if you play this on the bump down, then you push. That's how big of a deal that 0.5 is. So sometimes we can get away with it. But other times that 0.5 is everything that stands in between you getting a win and you getting half of your money back. So he finishes with 25. He stays under. We go 2 and 3 with those picks. And my slips that I played went 2 for 2, but my flex did not go accordingly. So it's nice to win a few. Those 2-pick powers are definitely bankroll builders. You got to make sure that you're throwing a few of those into your slips because it will help you sustain and not just lose all your shit, every single day. Playing flexes can get very addicting. It's very easy to lose a lot of money playing flex plays. So make sure you're sprinkling in some power plays that you're really confident in. The payouts are lower, but it's nice to certain days you would kill to break even. Certain days breaking even is a win. So that's what I do. All right. Today's plays, February 2nd, 2024. I got 3 player props that I want to share with you today. And we can talk about these in length if you want. But I've already done my research. I've already put these in plays, in slips, I should say. I'll share all that in the Discord. So first play, obviously, I got to talk about Trae Young today. Now, I played his assist in a 2-pick power, but those got bumped up to 11. If you want to play them at 11, that's on you. But at 10.5, I felt they were in a great spot. My second favorite prop of his is his 3-pointers made, sitting at 2.5. You can also play his Goblin at 1.5, which is a very low payout, or you can risk it and go 3.5 over on his Demon, which is a higher risk, but more money for you if it hits. But I like the 2.5. We could take a look at that on props.cash. Second play, James Harden. Now, this one did get bumped up, unfortunately. So it was on the board late last night and then got taken off. It got tooked off. And then this morning it got put back on the board. And just as I was about to lock it in, sure as shit, about to lock it in, it gets bumped up to 5. So it's weird how that happens. But I think even at 5, James Harden's in a good spot to get you 6 rebounds today. I do like the fact that Isaiah Stewart is not on the floor today, so that does open up some rebounding opportunities for him. But James Harden's a pretty strong rebounding guard, so I'm not too concerned with the bump. And then the last play, Jaden Ivey, looking at his points, same game. I like the over on all of these, by the way. That's what those little arrows are. Pointing up, over, pointing down, under. So Jaden Ivey, I like the over on his 12.5 points. So those are the three plays I'm looking at today. That's what I like on the board. And we can take a look at those over on PrizePicks as well. And let's build some winners today. Let's build some winners. Let's end the work week on a super positive note. And let's make a little money. Let's make a little money. Let's head on over to PrizePicks. I'm going to share my screen. Should be up there for you to see. And we are ready to roll. We are ready to roll. Ladies and gentlemen, degenerates of all ages, parentheses, as long as you're over the age of 18, it is time. It is time. So after we do our player props, we're going to do our plays of the day. And that's it. We're going to wrap this thing up. Javier, I don't know. That's like good morning to you, Javier. If I did not, good morning. I love farmers only. Good morning, man. Good morning. All right. I think we're all caught up on the greetings and pleasantries. All right. Who we got first? We got way too many games on the slate to do the game by game. That would take way too long. So we'll go back to our normal format, which is basically taking these player props as they arrive in the chat. Try to do first player prop I see and work my way down. In the event you have multiple props you have questions about, I'm going to take the first one out of your questions just to be fair to everybody else. And then at the end of the stream, if we have extra time, which we typically do, we can go back. And if I miss something, that will be the time for you to tell me, hey, check this player prop out. Cool. All right. Let's do this. Divine, right off the bat, Trey points. I like his threes, so let's look at his points and KD points. We're gonna look at KD's points got bumped up, right, from 25.5 to 26. Let's look at Trey Young. These also got bumped up from 25 to 26. But let's look at Trey Young because I do like his threes, and we'll take a look at his three-pointers made while we're taking a look at his points. What's up? All right. MLG. That Knicks Pacers game was a good watch. Was it? You have the pass. I just watch it on YouTube TV. So whatever game is televised, I watched that one. But it looked like it was a good game when I watched the highlights and seeing Jalen Brunson going off and shit. So that looked like a fun watch. Mel says yesterday was trash, no real profit. You made your money back. I mean, there are days where breaking even is a win. Honestly, it looks like some days it looks like you're just going to lose everything, and then you squeak out a last minute win, and it helps you break even. Honestly, that's a lot of what this industry is. A lot of break evens. If you can break even more than you lose, you're doing really well. Honestly, it doesn't sound like a winning formula, but it just means you're not losing money. And the name of the game sometimes is not to lose money. So I would check that as a win for sure. Maxey and Brunson all-star showing Pablo up next. Look, we talked about this in the chat yesterday, in the Discord yesterday. These guys are just going off their first all-star game. These guys getting in for the first time. 50 for Maxey and 40 for Brunson? Ridiculous. Yeah, bumped up from 25. It's at 26 now, Big Icy. All right, but still 25 on underdog. So if you're playing an underdog, Trey Young is still up there at 25.5. All right. So let's look at Wagner's assist. Let's look at Wagner's assist. Oh, Jim wants to take a look at Franz's rebounds. I tell you what, because we're getting some Franz love in the chat. I don't think his assists are on PrizePicks anymore, actually. If you can find his assists anywhere else, play them, because his assists are in a good spot today. But this is what PrizePicks will do. You know, they'll remove some of the more like favorable props, the ones that you have a good chance of getting. They'll just take them off the board. They're not obligated to list they can list whatever they want. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't look like his assists are on very many sites, but if you can find them at 3.5, take the over. But let's take a look at his rebounds as a replacement. We'll just get him on the board. Mel says Harden RA. Yeah, I like his rebounds today. I don't dislike. What did I do that for? I don't dislike his assists. I think his assists are in a good spot. But at 4.5, his rebounds are looking real good. But let's look at his Harden RA 9.5. If you're getting his RA at 9.5, oof. That is a hell of a good line, because I'm seeing his RA at 14. All right, let's just put that on board. Had 16 for years, had him 18. All right, Murray rebounds. We'll come back to some of yours, Divine. I already got that. Trey Young in there. Hallie on a back-to-back administration, but I'm thinking revenge game. The thing about Halliburton is he's getting he's getting benched in the second half. It looks like he's just not seeing full run in the second half. First half looks like he's closer to running full minutes, but in the second half, they're just sitting his ass down in the third quarter. So if we get any confirmation that his minutes are going to increase like to 27, 28, something like that, because back-to-back games, he's been at 22 minutes, I think. It's not a lot. I mean, he has to do a hell of a lot, I mean, for that to go over. On the flip side is you can get his lines at a lower line and maybe take the over on those because he's super talented still. Let's see. So we got Wagner in there. Hunter is out. I say look at Bay over on points. Says I love farmers only. Is that the ilovefarmersonly.com? Do you own that website? Do you own that dating app? Bay is not on the board. Interesting. Not Sengun. Not Sengun and Marvin might be out. KD3 says Ashley. When I saw it last night, it was at 1.5. I like if it's still at 1.5. Let's see. No, it's there. So again, with the goblins, a lot of these goblins are just the normal lines that PrizePicks is nerfing. So it's just another way for PrizePicks to not give you full payout. Really, really do your research on this. Honestly, look at what Kevin Durant's 3-pointers are across the industry. I'm pretty sure 1.5 is his OG line. So they're nerfing this. Play it somewhere else. But yeah, I agree. 1.5 is a pretty good line for Kevin Durant. It just comes down to the money. Like if you still want to play it with the lower payout, that's on, that's fine. But you can find it anywhere else. Dabble, Sleeper, if they have it at 1.5, you don't have to nerf your money over there. Yeah, I agree. I think Ivy's in a good spot today. You want to look at Paolo's assists, Ashley? Let's take a look at his assists since Durant's threes are not where we want them. Hey, we got one on the board. All right. Jesus, that took forever. Ramo, what's going on, man? Good morning to you. Curry assist. Dame, what's up? Good morning. Welcome in. Let's take a look at Curry's assist. Boy, his three was falling last game, man. He was on fire. That was fun to watch. Said, good morning to you. Says Curry's assist, super. Good morning. He says Curry's assist got bumped up to 6 from 5.5. Yeah. We'll still take a look. I have a farm girl. Bay would be a late play. Gotcha. ROK says check out Kuzma PA under at 29.5. Let's do it. Let's take a look at Kyle Kuzma, who is in a disgusting matchup today versus the Heat. PA got bumped down to 28. I tell you what, let's look at his PRA, and then we'll just kind of like bounce around to the other props for Kuzma. Okay, took a while, but we got 6 on the board. We got Trae Young's points to look at, Franz Wagner rebounds. We also have Paolo Banchero's assists. We'll take a look at that in the same game. We got Harden's rebounds and assists to take a look at, and Steph Curry and Kyle Kuzma. So let's do it. Let's head to Phoenix, I guess. We're going to Phoenix. We're taking a look at this Trae Young player prop, and then we'll move on from there. Sharing my screen over on props.cash. I guess this is where I plug props.cash. Everything that we research on the stream is through props.cash. It's what I prefer. I'm not saying you need to do it, but in the event you wanted to try it out, 25% off your first month. My promo code is thanks25. That is in the description of all my videos and streams. 25% off your first month. Listen, if you don't like it, if it didn't meet your standards and expectations, just cancel it after the first month and you still save money like that. I'm sure using props.cash will help your research process. I'm pretty confident that it'll help you in your research process. So, all right, let's start off with Trae Young. So Trae Young's points did get bumped up on PrizePicks. However, what we're seeing across the industry is still an increased line at 26.5. So if we scroll down here to the odds, You got FanDuel at 26.5. You have DraftKings at 26.5. PointsBet all at 26.5. With BetMGM and Caesars all at 25.5. So this was getting heavy juice to the over. So only a matter of time before that one got bumped up. Now that we've seen it bump up to 26, what's going to happen is as the juice continues to roll in, as people start to play the over on this still, this is going to bump up to 26.5. Then at 26.5, you have a decision to make. Do you think he can get you 27 or do you just want to fade it anyway? But where we are right now, you're still getting it at a lower line. Last three games, he's hit this in 2 with 30 points in 2 back-to-back games and then finishes with 26. So let's bring this down and let's look at this. So in 3 games, he has yet to go under. He has gone over twice and he's hooked it one or has pushed it once. Sometimes Trae Young starts off very slowly. So if you're a box score watcher or just like a stat watcher, it's going to drive you insane to watch his first quarters. Sometimes his first quarters are incredibly slow and he doesn't score shit. And then he just turns it on in the second and third quarter. So if you're squeamish, don't do that. It's going to drive you nuts. It drives me nuts. I do it a lot and I don't know why I keep going back to watching scores because it just drives me crazy. All that matters is at the end of the game, if they hit their prop. Head-to-head matchups with the Phoenix Suns. We don't have any games this season to look at, but we do have 2 in the past season. So 1-1. Nothing crazy there. Now, when we look at his projections, he is projected for 25.6. That's 26 on the dot. Basically, we'll round it back up. I think his points are fine. At 25.5, that was obviously the better play. But at 26, you still have that push potential. It's not a bad play. And also you have the support of other sports books that have this at 26.5, showing you that this line at 26 on PrizePicks is still a pretty decent line attack. Now his assists were at 10.5 when we looked at this last night. When I looked at this last night, we were getting really good odds to the over here. 3 straight games of 11 plus assists and 5 out of his last 6. 6 out of his last 10. I mean, really good stuff here. His assists were projected for 10.49. So again, like that's right there on the line. And then when we look at the other odds, you had 1, 2, 3, 4 books that had this at -120 or better to the over, and you had Caesars that was kind of split. So now that it's at 11, I'm not going to play it at 11. I'm good. I'm glad I got it at 10.5. So I'm good with that. I'm not going to risk it. I don't need to play it multiple times. 3-pointers for Trae Young. If you had any interest, I'm playing the 3-pointers. I think this is in a good spot, not because he went for 6 last game and I'm thinking he's going to go for 6 again, but we got really positive odds to the over here. His head-to-head matchups, again, these are from previous seasons, but he has performed pretty well against the Suns. And then his 3-pointers are projected for 3.29. We need 3 from him, so this looks on point. When we take a look at the other odds across the industry, great. Great is a good word. Great odds, okay? -150, -145, -135. Okay, so this is also in a good spot. So if you like Trae Young's points, how do you feel he manufactures his points? All from the free throw line, mid-range? I think he's going to shoot threes along with all that stuff. That's a good way to correlate and a good way to kind of double down on the points if you like them. So there's Trae Young. Let's go to Orlando and knock out these 2 Magic props for Franz and Paolo. So let's take a look at Paolo Banchero's assist. I can already tell you right now his assists are not going to have the best odds, but we're looking at other things. So head-to-head matchup, 1 matchup this season with the Wolves, he only finished with 3. But when we look at his last 10 games, he has a 5-game streak going here with 6 or more assists. So he actually has gone over this in 70% of his games over the last 10 and 100% over his last 5. When we take a look at the matchup with Minnesota's defense, it's not a great matchup, but I mean, if everything played out accordingly to the matchups on paper, then we would make a whole lot of money because all we would do is look at that. No sports book would be in business basically. So like the matchups we need to pay attention to, but I would say don't let that take you off a play. Looking at his projections, he is projected for 6 assists. If you take a look at the other odds across the books, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different books that have this all favoring the under. Well, DraftKings is kind of like undecided. They're right there in the middle, but BetMGM and FanDuel are really heavy on the under on this one, while PointsBet and Caesars slight juice to the under, but there is some juice coming into the over. So this one is more of a coin flip than anything, if you ask me. If you want to go by his game logs, everything looks great. If you're paying attention to the odds and his matchup, then maybe you look elsewhere. But it's hard to not look at this and get excited about the over on this one. So I don't mind it. I think it's worth the play. If you want to factor in the all-star narrative, I mean, based off what we've seen, it's a real thing. So he could be the next one to pop off. Although if he pops off, he's probably not popping off with 20 assists. He's probably going to pop off with 50 points, right? So maybe we're looking at his points today and not his assists. But based off what we saw with Maxey had nothing. He had 50 points, 1 rebound, 0 assists. Like, he just scored a bunch of points. I mean, he didn't do shit else. So maybe Paolo's the next guy that gets you 50. Let's look at Franz. If you think Paolo goes for 50 tonight, then wouldn't it be awesome if Franz Wagner helped him with some assists? Franz Wagner grabbed some boards and like that rebound transitioned into a bucket for Paolo. Like, that's a great way to correlate some plays. But we're looking at his rebounds today because his assists are not on PrizePicks, and Trae Young's points just got bumped up to 26.5. Told you. So that just happened. Franz Wagner over 4.5 rebounds. We like the over on this one. So do the odds, 4 straight games of 5+. We look at his matchup with the Wolves. Not a great matchup, but he doesn't give a damn because he's gone 2 games straight going over this line last season, but that's what we have to look at. We look at his rebounds today. They're projected for 6.48. So that's a full 2 over where he is lined up today. And then if we take a look at the other books out there, we have FanDuel -125, DraftKings -120, Caesars is kind of a coin flip. The rest of these are kind of a coin flip. PointsBet and Caesars, and BetMGM is very similar with their -120. Scarier matchup, big front court in Minnesota, but Franz is not a midget. It's not like 5'8". So yeah, I think this is a good play too. I think the Magic are in a better spot than the matchup, than what we see from the matchup on paper. I think they're in a good spot. I don't think too many people are going to be on their props. And that should help keep them low and not bump up. All right. James Harden. Let's talk about his, I don't know what we're talking about for James Harden because he's getting some line movement on his rebounds. And I know it was asked in the chat to look at his RA at 9.5, but I'm not seeing 9.5. I'm seeing 14, probably 13.5 to open up. So this will be bumped up to 14.5 at some point today. So if you like it at 14, please play it at 14. If you don't like it, then stay away from it because it's not getting any lower. So 5 games, he's gone over this in 3 out of those 5 games. 5 out of his last 10. 23 rebounds and assists for James Harden. That does help the average. That really helps the average. But even without this game, let's say he gets you 15 in this game or 14 in this game, something like that. I mean, he's still averaging like close to 15 rebounds and assists per game, which is pretty strong. Matchup with the Pistons, a pretty friendly matchup. No games this year to speak of, so we don't really have to look at anything. These games, he's a 76ers, different role, different team. Everything changes when he gets to LA. Take a look at his projections today. He's projected for roughly 6.5 rebounds. That's 7 rebounds. We'll round it up. He's projected for 8 assists. So if you do the math and say he gets you 8 assists and 7 rebounds, that's 15 RA. We're rounding up, but the projections are like very, very on point, and they're projecting him for right under 14.5. I think 15 is in play for him, and I think if you play this at 14, then you're still in a good spot for the over. Yeah, you can see this opened up at 13.5, and it was getting way too much juice on the over. It was only a matter of time before it bumped up. So there you go. At 14.5, this will get increasingly worse in terms of playing the over, because now the odds start to shift in the opposite direction for James Harden. His rebounds at 4.5, which was in play earlier, -146 on the under, which is why this guy's taken off the board and it got put back up only to be bumped up. But you don't need a ton of in-depth, data diving here. -146 are great odds. He's crushing his rebounds. 4.5 is it's way too low for James Harden. We're going to keep taking the over on this as long as we keep getting these low lines on him. Yeah, he's in a good spot. PRA 33.5 is where I'm seeing it. Odds could be worse, but they're not the best odds. -120 and -106. The best odds for this one, we're looking at them. FanDuel -120, 106. There you go. James Harden. These are all his projections right here. Take a look at them. All right, moving on. James Harden in the books, Franz in the books, Paolo in the books. Let's look at Steph Curry, Kyle Kuzma. Said take a look at his points and assists at 29.5, and those were bumped down to 28. So if you saw it at 29, you got an incredibly good line if you're playing the under. We're getting it at 28.5 on PrizePicks, but it is showing up at 27.5 on FanDuel. So if you wanted to take the over on Kyle Kuzma, play it on FanDuel at 27.5. But if you're looking to take the under, PrizePicks has it at a higher line. But at 27.5, Kyle Kuzma was getting like coin flip odds here. So nothing too special here about this game log or these odds. The matchup with Miami is not a good one, but we've seen Kyle Kuzma perform well against teams that play slow and kind of muck it up a little bit. His projection for his PR is 30.5, and his projection for points and assists is 27.5. So projections have him going lower than a line on PrizePicks at 28.5. I think if you wanted to take the under on him, it's still in play. But I think we can see it as possibly bumping down to 28. And then that makes it a little riskier. PRA is at 34.67, and you're seeing his PRA over on PrizePicks at 35.5. So slightly better odds on this one, but nothing too crazy. Everything I just said prior applies to this. The matchup is still the same. Game logs don't look all that great, and you're not getting the best odds on this one. Down here, you see his odds. I guess if he has anything going for him, this is a home game. So if you want to check out how he has performed at home over the last 10 games, I mean, a 50% hit rate is a break even. It's a break even rate. Head-to-head versus Miami when he's at home, there's only one game. We're not going back to 2022. If we just look at his last games versus Miami, we got one this season, and he finished with 29 PRA in that game, and he finished with 25 points and assists. So there's Kyle Kuzma. Steph Curry, let's look at his assist. Got bumped up to 6, taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies coming off a back-to-back. I tell you what, let's do this prop for Curry. But now that I'm looking at this, I think I might have a possible play here. But let me talk about Curry really quick. So Curry's assist currently at 6 on PrizePicks. We're getting him at 5.5 on other books. So this got bumped up. Games against Memphis, 1 game this season, he went over with 8. Last 10 games, we've seen Curry just stay very consistent. 8 out of 10 games and 4 out of the last 5. He's averaging 6 assists in all these games. There's not a whole lot of drop off with Curry. So that should make you feel good if you're looking at taking his over. And then with his assist projection, they're sitting at 6.22. If you were looking for the best odds on Curry's assist, if we put it up here at 6, 6 is going to get you minus 112 odds for this one, which is kind of like a 50-50, like 50% chance he gets the over on this one. He's literally averaging 6. So obviously 5.5 was the best line, but I wouldn't be scared off by 6. But don't be mad and shit when he lands right on 6. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he does. He also can do this, but he also can do this. So there's Curry. All right, 6 up and 6 down over on PrizePicks. Let's go ahead and take a look at these. So we like the over on Franz. We're gonna put the over on James Harden as long as it stays flat. Paolo Banchero over 4.5. Well, actually, Paolo Banchero, I was personally undecided on this one, but if you want to play that streak, like he's going to keep the streak going, you got a lot of data there to support the over. Steph Curry, like the over on this one. We'll take the under on Kyle Kuzma, and then Trae Young's points. So y'all tell me what y'all want to do with Trae Young's points. You still like it at 26.5? You think he gets you 27? Or do you want to fade and stay away? For the sake of this video, because I do want to pick something, I'm going to go over just because I have his 3s already in a slip. So I need him to knock down some 3s today. But we do have enough information there to possibly fade or just take the under. Now that has been bumped up twice already. Young has been bumped up twice. I'll throw these over in the Discord when we're all done here. All right. Well, the one play I said that I was looking at when I was looking up Curry, the Grizzlies and Warriors, there was something that stood out to me the last time these guys played, and it's not on the board. If we get a Jaren Jackson Jr. free throws made prop at 5 to 6, like 5.5, 6, that is something that I'm willing to look at for the over. Warriors send people to the line a lot, and Jaren Jackson being the focal point, I can see that happening again. It happened last game. It's possible that it can happen again this game. But that's one I'm willing to dig into when that free throws made category gets put on the board. All right, first round is done. Oh man. All right, we checked out Kuzma's PA, got that done. What else? Let me scroll back up here. Curry RA. Kawhi RA is now at 10. What was it before? Jim was at 9.5. Butler's points and rebounds. All right. All right. Welcome in. If you're just joining the chat, welcome in. hit the like button on your way in or hit it on your way out. We're getting ready to do our second round of player props. I am just scrolling through the chat, make sure I got where we left off was Kyle Kuzma's PA. And now we got a lot of Harden, Leonard, Trae Young second half points. I don't believe that's on the board yet. Farmers Only says, last time Paolo played Minnesota, he played terrible. I know, but he just got voted to the All-Star game. All right. So let's start this off. Let's do we just looked at Curry too. I wish I would have saw that before. I tell you what, I'm not gonna put him on the second round because we just had him in the first round. But we'll just take a quick look at his RA just so you can see where I'm seeing it is 10.5 right now on props.cash. It looks like it's at 10.5 everywhere else. Probably get bumped up to 11. Maybe not. They're not getting the best odds at 10.5. But if you think he goes out and gets you 6 assists, then he definitely needs to get you 5 rebounds. That's what's going to get him over here. He's gone over this in 1 out of his last 3 games, but he's gone over this 3 out of his last 5 games. So pretty positive hit rate there. The matchup with Memphis remains good, and then his RA projection is at 11. So you're getting pretty good projections here. The only thing that's kind of like not lining up are the odds at 10.5, giving you a minus 136. So for Curry, his assists were in play. His rebounds are getting terrible odds. So this is like shaping up to give you like 3 rebounds, 4 rebounds, but his projections say otherwise. So these are the most difficult player props to kind of assess because you got conflicting information. So it does require whoever's like looking at this, you have to make a decision because you're not really getting like a lot of information to either side. So you got to like, these are tough. These are tough ones, but his RA is definitely not as good a spot, I should say, as his assists were. All right, let's kick it off. Let's do round 2. Let's start with Kawhi. We can take a look at his rebounds and assists up to 10. Let's share the screen first of all. There we go. Said wants to take a look at Butler's points and rebounds. All right, Butler's points and rebounds are set to 28.5. I don't think this one's bumped. We don't see a lot of line movement on Jimmy Butler's lines. Murray, Divine wants to take a look at Murray's RA. Let's do it. It's like 15 Murrays playing today. Nah, there's only 2. Ten and a half. Miles Facts 10.5 over. I don't know who that is. Fox? De'Aaron Fox? The Harden 9 AR was a typo. The 9.5 rebound was for Curry. My bad. Okay. So his RA was at 9.5 mil, and then we saw it at 10.5 on props.cash, and now it's been bumped a whole line. Jeez, man, I'm not wasting any time. Shit. Leonard's rebounds are at 6.5, but he don't look too good head to head. We could look at that. Young's threes, yeah, Got it at 2.5. Fam, man, what's going on? Good morning. Good morning to you. Nah, you're good. You're good. We're here. We're here. You showed up. I know it's difficult when a player has a bad game against the team and it's like, I'm not going back to this guy. But one thing I've been trying to get better at is just keeping games separated and not letting them string together. And same thing with when a player has a good game against the team, it's like easier to say, oh, they crush, they'll crush again. It's hard to take each game as its own like island and then focus on that. But every game is different. Even if the two teams are playing the same players, every game is different. Sometimes the results aren't different, but I have to get better at basically not like stringing them all together. Unless we got like if you got multiple data points, like Paolo has like played the Minnesota Timberwolves 15 times, and in 15 games he's only scored like 3 points, something crazy like that. Then yeah, the data is like overwhelming. But yeah, for something like that, it is worth looking back at it just to like take a look at his props. It is definitely hard to ignore it sometimes though. I will agree with that. But Jalen Suggs over 9.5 points. There's another Magic player. See, Magic's getting some love today. I think the team's in a good spot. I don't think they like dominate. Low key, Magic are like making a lot of noise this season. Big Icy says Paul George over 6.5 rebounds and assists, and he's not on the injury report anymore. Are you seeing that on PrizePicks? Of course. Why would PrizePicks have this up? Maybe Underdog, right? Maybe Underdog. Yeah, so that last 2 games ago, 1 game, whatever it was, Paul George it was announced that he was on a minutes limit, like an hour before tip. And that was bullshit. So that was the first time me hearing that he was on a minutes limit with a like strained groin injury. Like what are we doing with this shit? Like if a dude is not 100%, let his ass rest. Why are you playing him for a quarter? Like the Jared Allen thing yesterday, he got sick during the game. Who the fuck gets sick during the game? You're either already sick, stay your ass at home, or you're ready to roll and you play the full game. But this whole like can't finish a game is stupid. It's stupid. And then we don't get any communication on that shit, and then our slips go up in flames because we can't control that shit. And once the damn things are locked in, you can't cancel them. That's my rant for today. All right. Marcus, what's going on, man? Good morning. Oh, okay. Telling you Jalen Suggs playing in his hometown. Okay. Hey, that's a real thing. When players go back home in front of friends and family, that's a good thing. Clay points, KD points. All right. Give me one more from someone I have not taken a prop from yet. We're getting all of them. Jalen, what's going on? Good morning. Said I got Butler on there. We'll look at Butler, no doubt. You want to look at Denny over PR? He let a lot of people down last game. It could be a nice game for a bounce back. But 18.5 is where he is now. Y'all feel like that's too high? Is that too inflated for him? For Denny? Jalen, Brogdon over 19.5 PR. All right, we'll end it there. We'll take a look at Brogdon's PR. Mal, there you go. All right. All right, here's what we got. We got Kawhi, 10.5 rebounds and assists. We got Jimmy Butler, 28.5. DeJounte Murray, 10.5 rebounds and assists. Suggs, Avia, and Brogdon. Any of these dudes playing in the same game that we can just like group together? Yeah, Butler. We'll kick it off with Butler and Avia, and then we'll just work our way down since we got 2 players from that game. Be easier to knock those out. So let's do it. Let us do it. I'm going to refresh props.cash because as the morning goes, a lot of information gets released. So just refreshing it to make sure that we're getting all the up-to-date information. Sometimes odds change and we don't know it because we're in the middle of our research. But let's take a look. Denny Avia. Let's start off with Butler and then we'll go to Devin Avia. Sound like Charles Barkley, just making up names for people and shit. My favorite player is Dennis Avicii. It was a very bad Charles Barkley, but I'm getting better at it. All right, let's look at Jimmy Butler's points and rebounds. 28.5, 3 straight games. Man, that is incredibly good production. Jesus, I have not looked at his game log, so this is like all new to me. 3 straight games of 34 plus. That's fantastic. Head-to-head matchup with the Wiz. There's only one game to look at this season. It happened a couple of months ago. He got 27. Now it's very possible that he went over his line in this game, but now that his line is at 28.5, it's showing that he has yet to go over his line. We don't know what that line was for that game. It very well could have been 26.5 or even 27, which would give him a push. So just remember, like these game logs, the stats don't change, but the line does change. It fluctuates based off that current day's prop. So it can go up. This line will change. So looking at his matchup with the Wizards, it is a very friendly matchup. He is projected for 28 on the dot, 28 PR, which leaves him a full PR under where he needs to go. He needs 29 today. Odds are kind of a coin flip. Across the industry, you don't see very, very much change from book to book. We got a fully healthy Miami team. Who's out for Miami? Robinson remains out. I don't know who D. Smith is. I mean, do we need to look at what shooting guards have done versus the Wiz? Small forwards, whatever Jimmy Butler is. Kawhi went off against them. Chetty Osman had a good game. Keldon Johnson had a good game. Bojan, Fontecchio, Michael Porter Jr. had a good game, and then you just had all the Spurs go off. OG had a good game too. If you want to take a look at what shooting guards have done versus Jimmy Butler or versus the Wiz, you got Harden and Norman Powell both combining for 50 plus PR in that game. Vassell going over his prop there. I think he's in a good spot for the over here. I guess and then this game is being played on the road, so it does help this game stay closer. But he's been playing really aggressive the last 3 games. We typically don't see this type of production from him until like games matter. But who knows, man? Like Embiid keeps missing games. You have all these superstars missing games, and that 65 game rule thing is real. And Jimmy Butler, what if he sees like this opportunity to like, I can actually be in MVP consideration by default? Like that's a real thing this year. Maybe this continues. It's a good spot for him today. I don't mind the over on this one at all. Let's take a look at Denny Avia's rebounds and, again, points and rebounds for this guy. Now, he is getting better odds at minus 120, but he has the opposite game log going for him. 3 straight games of unders, 15, 17, 18. Now, the good thing is we're seeing some gradual increase over the last 3 games. So maybe we see him get back to that 19-20 range tonight. His head-to-head games versus the Heat have not been all that good. only one game out of the last 4 meetings, but this season, that one game back in November, he hooked it. Now, I don't know what that line was, but I'm sure it was not 18 and a half. So anything 18 and under is going to show a different result. He is projected for 17.75 points and rebounds. And if you are interested in what opposing small forwards have done versus the Miami Heats, I'll show you. So Harrison Barnes gets you 14, 27 from Eric Gordon. Gross. 20 from OG, 23 from Josh Hart, 34 for Jason Tatum. He'd have done a really good job at suppressing production from the threes. But there's Denny Avia's numbers. I know for a while we were also looking at Denny Avia's PRA, first half PRA, and that was hitting for us. Now, 3 straight games versus the Miami Heat where he did go over his first half PRA. It does seem like there's a drop off in the second half based off what we saw for his full game. But his last 10 games, I don't know what his first half PRA is. If anybody knows, throw that in the chat. But against the Heat, he plays well in the first half. Over the last 3 games, we've seen this steep drop off. So a little bit to think about there. If you wanted to go first half over full game, there's also some upside there. All right, so done in Miami and Washington. Let's take a look at, I know Divine wanted to take a look at DeJounte Murray's rebounds and assists. Let's take a look at DeJounte Murray's rebounds and assists. And then we'll take a look at Kawhi. All right. 1 hour into the stream. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate y'all being here. If you're checking this out on the replay, I appreciate that. Hit the like button on your way in. Helps the channel grow. Helps this channel get to new viewers every single day. That's how it works here. So let's take a look at DeJounte Murray full game PRA. Now we're seeing this at 10.5 on PrizePicks, and he has fantastic game logs to check out. So 6 straight games of 12 or more rebounds and assists. Now, I think the only thing to keep in mind is that DeAndre Hunter is questionable for today's game. I believe he's been out the last few games or more. But if DeJounte Hunter, if DeAndre Hunter plays today, over the last 10 games where both Hunter and Murray have been in the lineup, these are his results. So not as green as we saw before. DeJounte Murray definitely benefiting from Hunter's absence. And I think we had a few games in there where Trae Young was also not, right? So just keep that in mind. But 10.5 is still a reasonable number to attack for DeJounte Murray. I hope this game is competitive. I think this game could be a really fun game to watch if we don't have any blowouts. I know from a talent level, Phoenix has more talent in their starting 5, but from just like, I think both of these teams are pretty evenly matched, just like based off what we're seeing, how they're playing. Like they both have superstars that can pop off, multiple stars that can pop off. But if NBA championships were won on paper just based off talent levels, yeah, you would just give it to Phoenix, right? I mean, there's a lot of teams you could just do that too. That's why they play the games. So your odds here are not like favoring one side over the other, except for BetMGM. BetMGM has heavy juice on the under for this one. While Caesars, DraftKings, FanDuel, and PointsBet all have this more of like a coin flip, kind of like right in the middle. DraftKings does have slight juice to the over, but still you're getting -110 to the under, so it does kind of break even. So I would just keep that in mind. The Hawks are getting healthier. DeJounte Murray has definitely benefited from the absences of Trae Young and DeAndre Hunter. So if Hunter plays today, maybe we don't see this type of production. but we don't need 14, 16 from him. You need 11. So I still think it's in play. All right, let's talk about we got Brogdon, Jalen Suggs, and Kawhi. Let's take a look at Kawhi. We're going right back up to the top here. Kawhi rebounds and assists is at 10. This got bumped up from 9.5, but even with the bump up, PrizePicks was offering you this line at 9.5. So they were giving you this line at a much lower line than what other books are. So all the books have this at 10.5, which means this will bump up to 10.5. So if you like it now, play it now. If you wait, you're gonna have to play it at a higher line. All right, so this is what we got going on for alternate books. Over his last 5 games, Kawhi Leonard has hit this in 2, pushed it in 1 game, and not hit it in the other. So, or excuse me, gone over in 3, pushed in 1, under in 1. So 3 out of 5 games. You can even say 3 out of 4 games if that push is just like, if it just cancels out for you. He's flirting with that 10. Like 10 is kind of like his floor, and then his ceiling is 20, which is crazy. Matchup is okay against Detroit, right? We're not seeing a lot of green, but we know what Detroit can allow. No beef stew today. And in terms of his projections, he's projected for 12 rebounds and assists for Kawhi Leonard. So this one also looks good. We can do this too. So we need him at 10. He's getting, I mean, look, -2, that's 9.5. I need this to bump up to 10. Is it not? What about 11 if I hit that? So at 10.5, no, I need 10. I don't know how accurate this is. Clicking the alternate line at 10 rebounds and assists, it's giving you -238 to the over. Yeah, I don't know how accurate that is. So I'm just going to stick to this. Boom, boom. All right. It's in a good spot. If this goes up to 10.5, it gets a little heavier to play the over, a little harder, I should say. But 10.5, 10 is still a good number. Who else? Jalen Suggs and Malcolm Brogdon. So we're going to the, oh, this is perfect. So we'll go Orlando. We'll take a look at Jalen Suggs returning home. And we're looking at his points at 9.5. This is a very low line. 9.5. I don't care who the player is. If they're starting or they're seeing starters minutes and you're getting their points under 10, it's really, really tempting. That's very tempting. Gone over this in 2 out of his last 3 games, 50% out of his last 10. He is projected for 11 points today. Again, we talk about how the matchup on paper looks bad for the Magic, but they still have to play the damn game. He plays the plays the Timberwolves very well. Plays them better in Orlando than he does in Minnesota. So his last game in Minnesota, he got 10 points, and his last 2 games when he was at home, he got 20 plus. Now, we don't know what the situation was. Maybe there were some injuries in these games, things like that. But Magic are getting healthier. I believe Markelle Fultz is back in the lineup. Gary Harris is day-to-day. But backcourt is getting a little bit more crowded. Maybe that's why we're seeing his line at a low 9.5. So we're getting positive game history here. We're getting coin flip odds, nothing too crazy here. And we're getting decent game logs here. If we take a look at what he does on the road, maybe that is going to paint a different picture. A little bit more of the same. Still a 50% hit rate in those games. Point guards. Is he a point guard or shooting guard? He's a shooting guard. The last handful of shooting guards versus the Wolves, AJ Lawson. I mean, listen, the Dallas Mavericks were down their starting 5. We're not going to pay too much attention to these games. Like, Jaden Hardy and Lawson. I mean, Jaden Hardy did go for 15 points, but they Minnesota blew them out. What was it, like by 40? But okay, so we're getting into some like normal starters here. Josh Giddey goes over, Vassell goes over, Cam Thomas is not even a starter. He goes over. I mean, there's a lot of games in here where guys are going 10 or more, which is what you need from Jalen Suggs. So as we look into this one does look a little bit better than I initially thought it would. So yeah, 10 points for Jalen Suggs is definitely in play. All right, last play. We're talking about Malcolm Brogdon. Last game of the night, I think. Brogdon. Looking at his points and rebounds. Mm. 19.5. So you're getting this at a lower line on PrizePicks. These are the odds at 20.5. They're not bad odds. They're not great. More juice to the under, but it's kind of a coin flip. If we bring this down to 19.5, you're going to see a lot more green where he's gone over in 3 straight games. The matchup with Denver on paper doesn't look great. We've seen teams keep up with Denver. We've seen teams beat Denver. The matchup on paper is bad, but the matchup on the court plays out better than you think. So I don't know if we see this one bump up because you do have 2 books at 20.5, and then you do have 2 other books that are showing you at 19.5. At 19.5, this is getting you minus 115 to each side on Caesars and DraftKings. So it is pretty much a coin flip at this point. His points and rebounds projection is 19.98. So you round that up to 20. 20 is over 19.5. That's the over right there. So it looks like this one could be sweaty. You know, might be tilting a little bit. But we've seen Brogdon pop off. So he does have that in his bag of tricks, I guess. These are all game logs away. If you have any interest in looking at what he's done just overall, that's what he's done overall at 19.5. At 20.5, it looks a little different. If this line gets bumped up to 20.5, this looks a little different. But at 19.5, Brogdon's gone over this game in 8 straight games. Over this line in 8 straight games. So you're getting a lower line. You're getting positive game logs here. The head-to-head matchup with Brogdon versus the Nuggets. Only one game to look at. He got hurt in this game, right? He got hurt in this game. Yeah. I think this looks good. I like the fact that his numbers on the road aren't terrible either. Denver's a tough place to play, though. All right, so this is what we got. Second round of player props in the books. We do like the over on Kawhi Leonard. We do like the over on Jimmy Butler. Here's my narrative on Jimmy Butler. We typically don't see Jimmy Butler show up until like games start getting tight. They're trying to make the playoffs, seeding, and all that shit. We're seeing a much more aggressive Jimmy Butler right now. And my narrative is that he feels that the MVP is in his sights now. With the injuries, with the games missed by these bigger names, it's opening up possibilities for different guys. So I think he might be on a mission. I think he might be on trying to take this to a next level. That's just what I think. But I like the over on his points and rebounds. Murray, we like the over on this one, but I will say be cautious because Hawks are getting healthier. And if Hunter is in the lineup, I believe Murray will take a slight hit in his production. I like the over on Jalen Suggs. Denny Avdia, I like the under on his points and rebounds, but we can take a look at his first half PR, which has been really good versus the Heat. And then like the over on Brogdon. So let's go ahead and screenshot these. I'll throw these in the chat at the end of the stream. And that is 12 player props we just covered via PrizePicks, but overall we're closer to 20. We talked about a lot of different player props in addition to these. All right. What I miss? What I miss? What I miss? Let's see here. Franz Wagner, 2.5 threes, Demon. I don't know. Let me clear this out. Oh, said, nice call. Flex Friday is up. Remember last week they waited until like 4 p.m.? What kind of shit was that? So it's up now. So if you go to your promos page, yeah, so Flex Friday is here. So you have to opt in. And then when you opt in, as you return to the board, like it doesn't, I'm just going to pick 6 players or 5 players. It doesn't have to be 6. It's just, it has to be a flex. So, yeah, this is what it looks like. This is what it should look like on your end. If you're not seeing this, that means you didn't opt in or you did not get the promo and you need to reach out to support to figure out what's going on. But this is what it should look like for everybody. You have to opt in. You click the box, you submit it, and then you're good to go. You do have a $20 limit, so you can't play more than $20 on your flex. I would recommend not playing a 4-pick flex. The payouts are not as good. 5 picks are where it is, and you could operate under the same mentality as a lot of people, which is you're going to get your money back. So why not go for a 6-pick? Just because you're building out a 6-pick flex and it's insured, it doesn't mean you get reckless with your shit because you actually want to hit. Wouldn't you rather have $500 than 20? So still work on building a good slip, but it is nice to know that it's insured. Jim says Denny PRA is 11.5. Oh, it's not 12.5. Okay. I like that one. I like that one a lot. Mel says Sabonis PRA bumped from 42 to 43. Really? That guy, man. Against Indiana. Mel also says Jokic RA 21.5. He's off a 3-day rest. Is that good or bad? Rebounds and assists. Did they remove it? No, it's right here. All right, cool. Scam picks raised Denny from 17.5 to 18.5. He covered against the Clippers. That's why he's bumped. Yeah. Oh, dude, that's a good one. So Terry Rozier's points, I glanced at it this morning, but I didn't really dig into it. I'm glad you brought that up because that's so Terry Rozier, getting acclimated to the Heat culture and all that bullshit. Had a terrible game last game out against the who did they play last game? It was a good matchup. And he was just terrible. He didn't score anything. He didn't do anything. And so this matchup with the Wizards is a much better matchup for him. And I look at it from the point of view of he's just going to bounce back tonight. We might see him score 15, 16 points, maybe 20. So yeah, him at 14.5 points. I think he was at 14.5 on PrizePicks. That one did look good, honestly. Jalen said, real funny how Scam Picks won't post Daniel Gafford. Hell no, they won't post Daniel Gafford. No way. No way. If they do post Daniel Gafford, I guarantee you, at least for his blocks and steals, I guarantee you he won't have an original line. I'll guarantee you he'll have a goblin and a demon. If you have questions about the demon goblin, this is what you do. This is what I did. Take a demon prop, whatever it is, like KD 29.5 points, right? Take that, go research what his line is across the industry. If you have access to a sports book, I don't. Try to play his line at 29.5, somewhere where you can like change the lines. Chalkboard lets you do it. I don't know if Dabble lets you change the lines. And see what the payout would be for that. And then look at the payout on PrizePicks. It is ridiculously different. PrizePicks, even though they're giving you a payout boost on these increased lines, they're not giving the full amount of money. When you compare it to other places, it's not even a secret. It's just that nobody looks at it like that, and nobody puts in the time to like research like where their money's going. But do it. Take 5 minutes and do it. It may change your mind about playing a lot of demons, and it'll give you a really good idea about how good these goblins are. Like, these goblins are easier to hit. But not really. If all they're doing is taking the OG line and throwing a goblin on it, all they're doing is giving you less money. It's crazy. It's crazy how that's happening right now. But that's the way it is right now. And if they do that for Gafford, I guarantee you he won't have an OG blocks prop. I think we don't see original lines for Wemby as well in terms of his blocks. It's crazy, man. That shit is crazy. Jalen, you like the under on his 43 now? I got you, Divine. I got him in there. Brandon Miller. Ooh, Brandon Miller. We haven't talked about Brandon Miller in a while. 27.5. Francis Ford Coppola, PRA. Lillard was trash when he went back home. And then sometimes these players don't do shit when they go back home. That is the truth. All right, let's take a look at Brandon Miller. 27.5 PRA versus the Thunder. We'll look at Clint Capone. Ashley. Michael, what's up, man? Sorry to hear that. Yeah. Let's try to get a win, man. Let's try to get a win. I will say this. It's easier said than done. Kings. They played the Kings. Yeah. The Heat played the Kings, right? It is easier said than done, but you have to stay the course. It's ebbs and flows with this kind of thing. So, I mean, get mad, tilt, throw shit, not at your kids or anything like that, but just like throw shit against the wall, go outside, fucking break a bottle against the wall or something, and then just like regroup. You just got to stay the course. Like, losses will be there always. So that's the shittiest part of doing all this, is that at some point you'll hit a cold streak. I have like this eyelash right here and I can't fucking get it. All right, last round of player props. What am I talking about here? Talking about my damn eyelashes? What the fuck? All right, let's kick things off. I want to talk about I want to start off with KD points because that one got bumped up. I got a message him. I got a direct what is it, DM yesterday in the Discord. One of the members was telling me to look at KD's points because it was coming in at a low line on PrizePicks compared to the other books, and I didn't see it until this morning. Where the and now it's at 26, so I'm assuming it got bumped up, right, to 26 from 25 and a half, I believe. So what we talked about last stream when the Suns played, we talked about Kevin Durant's points being in play at 24 and a half, 25. We talked about this cold streak he's on. We've been watching Devin Booker pop off. It's time for Kevin Durant to pop off. We've seen this. We've talked about this shit all the time. These types of situations are probably the easiest to predict. It's just a matter of what comes down has to come back up. And so now that Kevin Durant's had his big game, I don't believe we see him go back to scoring 12 points. But do we see him score 33? We don't need him to score 33. If you're playing this at 26, you just need him to get you 27, which he can do. So let's bring this down to 26. But if you're ever looking at game logs, and don't let this shit scare you away. Like, I love seeing this. I love seeing players have 4, 5, 6 games in a row where they're not doing anything because their lines drop and you just play the over on. Let everybody else play the under on that shit. You play the over on it. That's just being smart. That's being sharp. I love seeing this kind of thing. But now that he had his big game, where was his point total last game? 24 and a half. Now it's at 26. That's what happens. So if you wait and see, I want to see if he does it. I want to see if he has a good game. You're too late. By the time they have a good game, the line's already moved. You didn't get it. So right now we're getting it at 26. This is going to bump to 26 and a half. Play it if you like the over. Play it now because it's not going to get any lower. He is projected for 23 points versus the Atlanta Hawks. Again, I think these two teams can have a really good game today. If we don't have a blowout, I think this is a good game for like the superstars to come out. Trae Young, Murray, Book, Durant. I think this is a good game for them. We just can't have any fucking blowouts. Kevin Durant versus the Hawks. Doesn't he own a steakhouse in Atlanta or something like that? Who am I thinking about? 2 games where he's played the Hawks, but these are 2022. If you want to take a look at what Kevin Durant has done on the road, hey, his last game against Brooklyn was on the road, and he crushed. You love his points at 25 and a half or wherever they were. You like them at 26. Do not wait for this to bump up to 26 and a half. If you like this, play it now or go look for it somewhere else where it's still at 25 and a half and play it there. But if you wait, you're not going to get this line. It's not going to get any lower. All right. KD done. Who's next? Sabonis, PRA. Slow as app. Okay, so at 42 and a half, this was getting slight juice to the over, but not by much. Pretty much a coin flip, back-to-back games. He's averaging 50 PRA in back-to-back games. Isn't that crazy? Over his last 10 games, 60%, 60% as well. Now his head-to-head games with the Pacers. Sorry about that. There you go. Last 3 games with the Pacers, whether this is at home or on the road, he has not played well. So This is getting bumped up to 43. He just doesn't play his former team like with a chip on his shoulder. So over his last 10 games, yes, he still has the back-to-back games where he hit 50, basically 50 in each game, but he's only 4 out of his last 10. It is super scary to take the under on his props. I understand that. But his lines continue just to get higher and higher, and he has to elevate his play to keep up. At some point, he will just have one of these 30-point games, these 30 PRA games. It'll be a Keegan Murray game. It'll be a freaking Malik Monk game. Darren Fox. At some point, it'll happen. If you think that is today versus his former team, you can play it at the higher line. That's a nice bump if you're looking for the under. If you liked it, if you like the under at 42.5, you gotta love it at 43. Why wouldn't you? He is projected for 42 PRA. So 42, do you understand how much that is? 42 PRA is a huge number. That is superstar shit. And it's still not good enough to go over this line. So it's not like he's having bad games. If you pick the under on it, you're not wishing for him to have the worst game ever. You're just saying he's not going to get you 43, 44. He's just too good of a player to not have like over 30. But there's a big difference between 30 PRA and 44. And you're getting a line bump for him. So I think the under is in play. I really do for Sabonis. Let's take a look at Jokic. We'll take a look at Jokic, Clay, Miller, and then I do want to look at Franz's three-pointers, that demon play. If you had any interest in that one. So Jokic is at 21.5. I think Mel put in the chat, coming off 3 days rest. Not PRA, RA, right? RA? Minus 130 odds on this over, which is pretty strong. Let's take a look at him coming off 3 days. So when Jokic is off of 3 days rest, he is pretty good. He's pretty good. 27, 34, 32, and 25 are his games where he's gone over, and then 17 and 20. So this season, he has 2 games where he has played off of 3 days rest, and in those games, he has 32 and 25 RA. And both of those teams don't play at a fast pace. Both of those teams are pretty good defensive teams in LA and Houston. So now he gets to play the Portland Trail Blazers in a good matchup. So I just took the away filter off. So coming off of 3 days rest, it's still good. It's just we have a bigger sample size now. 8 out of his last 10 games coming off of 3 days rest, he's gone over this, averaging 25 RA. If you want to take a look, like if you just want to get very, very specific here and look at what he's done off of 3 days rest at home, he's four straight games of going over this. Unfortunately, no games to look at this year, but you have a large enough sample size in this image to pretty much draw your own conclusion that he does really well coming off of 3 days rest. You're getting positive odds. You're getting a good matchup with the Trailblazers. And you're getting a good matchup for a few different reasons. The Trailblazers defensively aren't strong, not that strong, but they also have a pretty decent front court with Ayton there. And so I think it does require Jokic to be on the floor and play hard, you know? So Ayton, if he doesn't get into foul trouble, he should help keep Jokic on the court, and maybe that helps Jokic get over his line faster. But yeah, I think that's a good one, Mel. All right. Let's look Clay, Brandon Miller. So let's do the Brandon Miller prop first. We were taking the over on all his stuff, and then like not anymore. So looking at his PRA is set to 27.5 today. You are getting heavier odds on the under here. 1 out of his last 5 games, but you look at that in middle of the on that chart, 4 straight games of 32 or more PRA. And then he ran into Houston, and then he ran into Utah, and then surprisingly he crushed against New York. I thought that would be another tough matchup for him. But playing New York and Chicago back to back, those are 2 just grindy ass teams. So he came back down to earth. Now, this matchup against OKC should be a faster game, but it's a tougher game because OKC is a top team in the West. Looking at his projection today, it is set to 25. 25 PRA is still pretty strong, but we need him to get 28. So you got a lot of data points here that are supporting the under. If you wanted to go under on this one, if you wanted to just look at his first half instead and say, man, this game might blow out, I just wanted to focus on the first half. This is what he's done. Anywhere between 13.5 and 14.5 is probably where his line will be today. So if we go down to 13.5, he's gone over this in back-to-back games. He's gone over this in 3 out of his last 5. If we bump this up to 14.5, does change 2 out of his last 5. But yeah, looking to go under on Brandon Miller's full game PRA does make sense to me. It really does. All right, Klay Thompson. $18.5 points. All right. So Klay Thompson's points, getting more juice to the under on this one. Matchup is there, though. We know that the Grizzlies do present a good matchup. They're also coming off a back-to-back. So I don't know what that looks like for them if they're – I mean, I don't know how much shorter they can run on rotation. I mean, they're only running like 9 guys out there, right? So they should still play big minutes. Klay Thompson is projected for 20 points today, which is basically 1.5 higher than his line. Head-to-head games versus the Memphis Grizzlies haven't been that great for him. 2 out of his last 5. And then last game they played in Memphis, he only put up 9 points. Since January 15th, though, Klay Thompson has hit 2 out of the last 3. I don't know. I don't really play a lot of Klay Thompson player props. He's just not a player that I seem to get right. So I usually stay away from his player props unless it's just dropped down so low that you just have to take the over on it. But if you're looking to take the over on this one, I mean, his last 10 do look good. Last 10 on the road, they look good too. 60% hit rate, last 10 on the road for Klay Thompson. All right, last one. Let's take a look. Franz Wagner, 3-pointers. Now, I liked his original line at 1.5, but I don't believe that's up on the board at 1.5. So, what are your options on PrizePicks? 2.5 Demon and 1.5. Oh, so it's 1.5 Goblin, right? I think 1.5 was his OG line. Yeah, so 1.5 is Franz Wagner's original line. I'll have to double check, but I think that PrizePicks made this a Goblin. So they're going to pay you less money if this hits. So if you want to make your money and then some, you have to play the Goblin. And so we can take a look at his game logs here, where he has gone over 2.5 in 2 out of 3 games. So he is capable of doing it. It's just he doesn't do it often. On the year, he's averaging 2 3-pointers a game. And you do have these games like 3, 3, 4, 3. Now, these are on the road. So if we look at it overall, doesn't change his season average, but you do get a bigger sample size. So 3, 3, what is that? 3, 4, 5. I mean, he does have games where he does pop off, but a lot of these games, he's staying in that 2 3-pointers made range, which is why it's getting such heavy juice to the over, and which is why PrizePicks won't let you play it. He's projected for 2.31 3-pointers made. So that's closer to 2 than it is the 3. The Demon is very risky. It is very risky. But we've seen players. I mean, who the fuck predicted Tyrese Maxey going for 50 yesterday? Things can happen, but if you were trying to be like research oriented, and it doesn't look like 2.5 is in play. 1.5 is definitely in play. All right, so unfortunately with these Demons, you can't take the under on them. So you either play the over or you don't play it at all. So I'm going to take this one off for now. Yeah, PrizePicks doesn't even have an OG lineup or a Goblin line. So they're just literally forcing you to take 2.5 threes or not. So I think there are better plays out there, to be honest. So we like the under on Sabonis, we like the over on Jokic, we like the over at 26 on Durant, while we still can get it at 26. Clay, I just hate taking his points, but for this, I hate taking the under on his props too, because when he gets hot, you can't stop him. But it's also like I just can never get his plays right. So for me personally, I'm staying away from it. But for the sake of this video, I think the angle was you like the over on his points, and I think we saw enough in there to support the over if you want to roll with it. So I'm just going to put over on Klay Thompson's points so that we have it checked. And that'll round out our third round of player props for today's stream. And there you go. Let's clear it out. And we are an hour and 45 minutes in. If you are still here, I appreciate you all. I know a lot of you are at work watching this, and I appreciate you risking your job to check into the chat. I'm sure it's not that serious, but appreciate y'all nonetheless. Let's see if I missed anything. We went through quite a few player props. Let's see here. Who are we talking about? Oh, Vince Williams. Vince Williams Jr. got 13 in the first half. Vince Williams yesterday looked real scary because I think he was sitting on 5 points with 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Then he checks back in, and then he finishes with 11 points or something like that. That was crazy. I'm glad he hit. So Ashley says he didn't hit his first half PRA, but he definitely hit his first half points because his first half points were at 7. So if you played his first half points, that worked out for you. And then his lines got bumped too. Vince Williams' lines got bumped. So kind of, I guess it depends on when you played it, depending on the time of day. Triple double for Jokic. I don't know. Where can you play triple doubles? Sleeper? Yeah, I think he played triple doubles on Sleeper. I mean, yeah. I mean, there are only a handful of players in the NBA that you can really confidently target triple doubles. Jokic, Sabonis. I mean, who else? Giannis, maybe. Yosafat. Good morning, by the way. It says Miles Bridges' first half PRA over 17.5 has hit in his last 8 to 10. Narav, Kevin Herter over PRA, a good play. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Kevin Herter PRA. I don't have to pull this up. Actually, yes, I will. Kevin Herter's PRA is at 21.5. So it has not changed. It was at 21.5 last game, and it just stayed the same. Darrell says Ayton PA 16.5. Aaron Neesmith over PRA again. I'm actually interested in how Ayton has played Jokic through his career. Let's look up a few more. Neesmith is not on the board, unfortunately. Oh shit, Ashley Capella. My bad. I'm just going to put his points up, but let's look at a few of his props. I totally just lied to you and said we were going to look it up, and then we didn't. Shaquille, good morning. Welcome in. Booker, blocks, and steals. Okay, that's a new one. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look at Book. Bam, first half PRA, under 17.5, only hit 2 of his last 10, 17 too highs, averaging 12.8 per half. All right. Let's take a look at Devin Booker. And let's take a look at Bam first half. Let's start getting... We're getting close to plays of the day. We're rounding out our last few player props we'll talk about today. All right, let's run 5. Let's take this over to props.cash. Let's just do a quick run through of these. Anybody from the same game that we can talk about? No. Right? No. All right. Let's start off with Bam Adebayo first half. We haven't talked about too many first half player props today. Sometimes I forget that they're even on the board. But sometimes we can find some really strong plays. There we go. Okay, so let's look up Bam first half. Starting off with his points, sitting at 10.5. He has not gone over this in 5 straight. But when we drop this down to 9.5 to match what PrizePicks has, he has not gone over this in 5 straight. Nothing changes. You thought it was going to change? Nope. 17.5 PRA. He has also not gone over that in 5 straight at 18.5, but at 17.5, it'll reflect, but nothing will change. Versus the Wiz, 2 out of the last 3 games, but you are going back basically 2 seasons, a season and a half to look at these. 17.5 does seem a little high. When you look at his full game PRA, he's only projected for 31. We can round that up to 32, which would give him an average of 16, even 17, gets him the under, and it only equals 34 PRA. So you might be onto something with Bam. You may have found a nice little wagon to keep taking the under on. All right. Let's look at Phoenix, Atlanta. Let's look at Devin Booker's steals and blocks and steals. All right. He's doing pretty good in the first half. He's averaging 1 block and steal in the first half, which is good, starting off early. But overall, he's stepping up in the second half. If he's only averaging 1 in the first half, he's getting you the other 2 in the second half. And he has gone 5 straight with the over on this one. You're getting even odds at -117 to both sides. In this one, he does have that 3 steals and blocks upside. Matchup with Atlanta is a favorable one, but we just want this to stay competitive. No blowouts. Steals and blocks, he's projected for 2, roughly 2. 1.87, you're going to round that up. It's closer to 2 than it is to 1. BetMGM has the juice slightly on the over, and Caesars has this split down the middle. So this does look like a good one for Devin Booker. I know steals and blocks aren't always plays that we talk about, but we can always find good value. We got to look in some weird places sometimes. 3-pointers attempted and steals and blocks, turnovers. All right, so that was a good one. Let's look at Capella. Capella's in the same game. Yeah, let's look at Capella. So let's start off with, I guess we can start off with his steals and blocks if you want to look at that. I mean, he's getting good odds here. He's only gone over this in 2 out of his last 5 games, but head-to-head matchup with the Phoenix Suns, these are from last season, but it does give you an idea of what he's capable of. Projected for 1.7 steals and blocks, so that's closer to 2 for Capella. How this is broken down over his last 10 games, he's basically giving you 1 block in every single game. He's averaging 1.4 blocks in every single game. And in terms of steals, so probably a better likelihood of him getting you 2 blocks today than a block and a steal, because there's a lot of gap here between games where he does get you a steal. But 2 blocks gets it done. He doesn't have to get 1 and 1, just has to get you a total of 2. So you can see his steals are not pulling in great odds at all, but when we look at his steals and blocks, better odds. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad play either. So Kevin Huerter just got bumped up to 22.5. So now we got a unique situation here, because if you were looking to take the over at 21.5, it can change that quickly, where now you're like, hey, let's look at the under. So let's just quickly look at Kevin Huerter's PRA, now currently at 22. 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists is his OG line. -122 to the under on this. So you are already getting juice to the under with that line. Now that it has been bumped up to 22, it doesn't change anything with his games played, but it does make it difficult for him to get the over. He is projected for 19 PRA today. So that's 3 below where you need him to be. So at 22 and a half, well, at 22, the odds are minus 108 to go over, which that's kind of like 50-50 chance. Let's go back to the original line of 21 and a half. Let's also look up his PRA versus the Pacers. So back-to-back games of really good games against the Pacers, 37 and 22. Did he just pop off in this game? No injuries, like nothing like that. I mean, was Monk out? Was Keegan Murray out? That is a huge, I mean, look at the difference. I mean, he's averaging low 20s and he pops off for almost 40. He does that every once in a while. I don't know. If you want to take the over at 21 and a half, I mean, 22 and a half is still in play, but he needs 23 to get over. I hate playing bumps, but, or maybe you just stay away, or maybe you look at his points. Maybe his points look better. If you just want to take a look at just him scoring points, rebounds, take the under on his rebounds. Maybe take the under on that. That's a better play. Really good odds in favor of the under on his rebounds and his assist. Also, he's been overperforming a little bit, but better odds to the under on this one. So when you look at all those and you're getting really bad odds to go, you're getting really bad odds for his assists and rebounds. That only leaves his points. So basically that's telling me that the majority of his PRA is coming from points. So if you don't like the bump on his PRA, then just look to his points and maybe just play the over on his points, because he's going to need to score 15 points to help with that over. He's not going to get it done by grabbing six boards and dishing out 5 assists. So you could play it that way because of that bump. DeAndre Ayton. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing how DeAndre Ayton has played Jokic over the, I don't know, his career. So against Denver, DeAndre Ayton is, we're looking at his points to start things off. So this is what he's done over his last handful of games versus Denver. He's only gone over 14 and a half points in 2 out of those 2 out of these 3, 6, 7 games. But if we look at his points and assists, which is what the question was, 16 and a half points and assists. Now this one is still getting negative odds to the under. Over his last 10 overall, this looks really good. So his last 5 games have been incredible. His games versus Denver don't look good. He is projected for 20 points and assists today. Does he play better on the road? 50-50 on the road. So 50-50 on the road versus Denver. So 2 games out of the 4 games, he's gone over this line. I don't know. It's risky because Jokic can get you in foul trouble, or DeAndre Ayton can get DeAndre Ayton in foul trouble. But I still like the fact that we're getting good numbers against the Nuggets, and even on the road where Denver is a tough place to play. DeAndre Ayton is, DeAndre Ayton is performing, and you're getting really good projections to the over on his PA. So there's a little bit to like here for sure for DeAndre Ayton. All right. Let's start getting some plays of the day, because we're headed towards the close of the stream. Let's start putting in the chat plays of the day. Who do y'all like? I'll go ahead and screenshot these props that we just talked about. I'm gonna put over for Ayton. Oh damn. I did it again, Ashley. I did it again. Son of a bitch. Where the hell? All right, Clint Capella, right? We're looking up Clint Capella. Son of a gun. Wait, did we already look up Clint Capella? I don't think so. All right. PRA for Clint Capella, minus 120, minus 110. 2 games back-to-back, 26 plus. This looks great for him. 4 out of his last 5 games, he's gone over. When he takes on the Phoenix Suns, he is 1 for 1 over his last 2 games. That doesn't really help us out. Those games were played last season. Want to take a look at his projections today. Clint Capella is projected for 23 PRA. You can also look to his rebounds. Clint Capella is getting really good projections across the board. Everything is green for him except his 3-pointers made. Points. PR for Clint Capella. Basically, this will always be in that low 20 range because basically this is like a double-double. This line is saying, you know, is basically asking you, do you think he gets a double-double today? And out of 4 out of his last 5 games, he's gotten the over on this one. Matchup with Phoenix over his last 2 games. So yeah, I think the matchup is good for Clint Capella. The only thing that scares me with Clint Capella sometimes are his minutes because Quinn Snyder can just play. Well, this was happening way before Quinn Snyder took over the Hawks, but we're seeing like a timeshare between him and Okongwu. But it looks like at least over the last 5 games, Capella's minutes have been pretty steady, so that should help get the over on some of his props today. But Clint Capella's in a good spot. We did look up his blocks and steals, and then I went to another prop. If I were going to play Clint Capella, I would look at his definitely look at his PRA or his points and rebounds. Bam Adebayo's first half points got bumped down from 9.5 to 8.5. Clint Capella's rebounds are at 9.5. That's very much in play. I think you go a few different ways with Clint Capella. Rebounds or PRA and PR are all in play. Maybe even his points and assists, because his points and assists are at 12.5. If you think he gets you a double-double today, he has to get you 10 rebounds. Why not just go with his rebounds and assists that are at 10.5? Like his rebounds are at 9.5. He needs 10. But then he has the upside of getting you like 1 extra assist. The RA for Clint Capella right now is at 10. Not 10.5, it's at 10. Why not just do that? That one looks good. So that's probably my favorite play for Clint Capella is rebounds and assists. Right there. Rebounds and assists. Boom. I like that one. All right. I feel much better. I didn't forget Clint Capella. All right. Plays of the day. We're gonna wrap this up. We are over 2 hours. We're gonna get some plays of the day. We'll throw them in the Discord if you want to tell the plays of the day. Yesterday we hit a bit of a snag. We had some players sit. LeBron James sat, so that one didn't hit for us. We had the Derek White steals and blocks. That one hit. Vince Williams goes over first half points. Porzingis did not have the first half we thought he would, but he made up for it in the second half. Fontecchio didn't go over his first half points. I believe he finished with 3. And then Lauri Markkanen destroyed his PR at 32.5. So White goes over, Vince goes over, Lauri Markkanen goes over. That's 3. And then you had Porzingis and Simone Fontecchio. So 3 and 2 with our plays. Also, Evan Mobley got scratched. So we had LeBron James over rebounds and 32.5 PR, and Mobley over first half PRA. Those 3 plays got scratched, so that left 5 plays. You go 3 and 2 with your 5 plays. So that's a win. You won more than you lost. That's 3 straight games, 3 straight days of positive results with the plays of the day. Let's make it 4. Let's make it 4 in a row. What do y'all got? Let's get this going. Who's playing some 2K? Jim? I need to get me a new game, man. I dug out the RDR2. I've never stopped playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I beat it, and I just been roaming, looting and pillaging and doing all sorts of shit. And then I pay off my bounties, and I do it all over again. It's just fun. It's a nice stress reliever. All right, we got James Harden over rebounds. Ashley likes him at 5 rebounds, right? Still at 5. It didn't get bumped up. Let's see. Jose says Kuminga over points. What are his points today? Can you put in the chat what his points are? We got Vince Williams first half points. We're going right back to Vince. Why not? Over first half points. What are his points today? Big Icy says Jokic over 0.5 triple double. That one is not playable on PrizePicks, but I mean, we can. I'm gonna put it up there because you can still play. Where are you playing that one, Big Icy? Where are you playing Jokic's triple double? That way, I can put it in parentheses where people can find it. Ashley says Vince Williams points are at 8. They're trying to bump him because he was, yeah. Okay, so Jose says that Kuminga's points and rebounds are at 19.5. Then let's put that. Let's put his points and rebounds at 19.5. So we got Harden over rebounds, Kuminga over 19.5 points and rebounds. We got Vince Williams over first half points, Jokic over 0.5 triple doubles. Oh, his points alone are at 19.5? Oh, man. Okay. Shit. 19.5 points and rebounds, I guess, is too good of a line. Okay, so 19.5 points for Kuminga. All right. Big Icy said both Sabonis and Jokic are in play for triple doubles. Listen, it is also possible for Sabonis to get a triple double and go under 43 PRA. It's easy for him to go like 13, 13, and 13, some shit like that. So it's possible that he goes under PRA and still gets a triple double. All right, what else we got? What else we got? What I miss? Chet under PA 21.5 is crazy. Who's playing Chet over under PA? We didn't talk about him today. Don, welcome in, by the way. Franz Wagner over rebounds. We like that one. What else? Oh, ROK. I just saw this one. Says play of the day, Kuzma, 29.5 under PA. But I think it's at 28 now on PrizePicks. All right. What else? Divine says PG over 20 points. I'm assuming that's points. That's not assists, is it? Rebounds? That'd be some crazy shit. PG over 20. That's a low line. And if you were not getting any minutes restriction on him, that's a very low line for him. Okay. Big Icy says the triple double props are on underdog. Okay. Nice. Try that again, Ashley. Who Lennings over PRA. I'm trying to like Kaminga. Damn. Where did Lennings come from? Are you using like talk to text or something? My microphone sucks on my phone. I've sent so many just dumbass messages to people. I just so embarrassed afterwards. All right, Kaminga over PRA. So we like his points, and then we're gonna double down on Kaminga and also look to his PRA sitting at what's his PRA sitting at, Ashley? All right, so this is what we got so far. We got Harden over rebounds. We got Kaminga over points. We're looking at his PRA. Vince Williams over first half points. We got Franz Wagner over 4.5 rebounds. Kuzma under his PA. I need to confirm if that's 29 or 28.5. And we got PG over 20.5 points. Got that one, Divine. If you guys are interested, if you are playing on Jock Market, if you are not playing on Jock Market, use my promo code, get the hookup on your deposit bonus. But like I mentioned, it's very, very smart to have multiple player prop sites that you operate on. But right now, the discount is Tyler Hero got bumped down from 25 points and rebounds, or 25 points and rebounds to 23.5 points and rebounds. If you had your eyes on any Tyler Hero props, Jock Market is where you want to play them because they're giving you a discount for 1 hour. These are like 1 hour, and they just refresh it and give you a new one. So you can build out quite a few slips using these discounts. If you want to get wins, join my Discord. If you want to get wins, be friends with Ashley. She's been killing it. Been on the road. But yeah, join the Discord. 100% free. Link is in the stream description. I don't charge you anything. Easy to join. Tons of people in there sharing props. Tons of winning slips. Or don't join. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Kuzma PA is at 26. What? Nah. Oh, were we looking at his points and rebounds earlier? Because his points and rebounds are at 29.5. $26.5 points and assists. Okay. So, okay. For Kuzma, the 29.5 is his points and rebounds. 26.5 on his points and assists. All right. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna add in my my Jaden Ivey over 12.5 points, which I did play already. I'm afraid that it has been bumped. And if it has not, then no, it's still the same. That's good. It's flying under the radar. People aren't playing the Pistons today. They don't really give a shit about the Pistons, so that's good. I like the over on his points. He's one of my plays. So we got enough plays of the day to get this going. I'm going to throw these in the Discord. If you think of one, throw it in the Discord. I'll add it to the list. And then we'll make it 4 days in a row of positive results with these plays of the day. And then if you are so bold, you may create a slip using the plays of the day. They hit, man. If these are gonna hit, why not put them in a slip, and why not just like give it a shot? But again, one more time, we got Harden over rebounds, we got Kuminga over points, also Kuminga over PRA, Vince over his first half points, Jokic over 0.5 triple double, that's on Underdog, Franz Wagner over 4.5 rebounds, Kuzma under 29.5 PR, Paul George over 20.5 points, and Jaden Ivey over his 12.5 points. All right. That is okay. Don says, my bad. I wish okay, Pet Chet PA under 21.5 has hit in the last 10 games. Let's throw him in there. Let's throw him in there. I'll add him to the list, and then we'll throw this in the Discord. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it. We're ending the week on a positive note here, going into the weekend, and let's have some fun today. Let's make some money. Be smart with your slips. Don't get reckless because you're getting your money back if it doesn't hit. $500 is better than 20 every day of the week. I don't care who you ask. Also, keep this in mind. Saturdays and Sundays offer a ton of volatility, a lot of late scratches. A lot of players are going to get ruled out throughout the day, and it's going to throw off your slips. So just be cautious. And on Saturdays and Sundays, these are now the days where players will rest. Like in the MLB, if you play MLB player props, it's like known Sundays are a rest day for starting catchers. Starting catchers do not play in MLB on Sundays. The backup catchers play. This is now becoming a thing in the NBA where we're seeing more and more players rest on Saturdays and Sundays. Doesn't matter how big the game is. That is now a rest day. Go back and look over the last few weeks. We're seeing a lot of names scratched at last minute, right before tip-off. So just keep that in mind when you're making your slips, because that's super frustrating to have your slip go from a 6-pick flex to like a 3-pick flex. Terrible. But if you stuck around this long, I appreciate you. Sub up to the channel. Might as well. You've been here for a couple hours. Hit the like button. It means a ton. I really appreciate all the engagement in the chat today. Makes this worth it. Had a lot of fun. You know, as always, regardless of the player props you roll with, I don't care where you get them. I hope your slips hit. I hope they all respect the damn coin. Good luck this weekend. If you want to share your protected play in the Discord, if you want just feedback on it, or if you just want to share what you got, join the Discord. It's 100% free. Share your slips. Engage with the peeps in the Discord. But I'll be in the Discord later today. If you have any questions, you can always hit me up. Again, best of luck to you all. I'll let the outro bump a little bit. Good luck this weekend. I'll see everybody Monday morning, 9 a.m. bright and early. Chavez is out.